Welcome to JMR Talks. Today we will discuss about culture, its importance, how to build culture in remote workplace. Many of us are familiar with the famous quote of Peter Drucker, the father of modern management. Culture eats strategy for breakfast. Further, some people went to the extent of saying, if you don't have a strategy, you miss your breakfast. If you have strategy but miss its execution, you miss your lunch. But if you don't have your culture, you not only miss your breakfast and lunch, but you miss your what we call dinner. So what is a culture? Culture that relates to what we call human factor. The way the people what we call function, the way the people behave. If a company what we call lacks appropriate culture, then the projects are what we call bound to fail. Now, for instance, let's presume that people are not passionate towards vision. In other words, the leader failed to what we call provide a compelling vision. They lack enthusiasm because of what we call HR rules and regulations are not such that there's no proper mechanism for recognizing and reward. Then what will happen? The execution of what we call suffers. So in building the culture, in creating the culture, in nurturing and sustaining the culture, the actions of the founders and the managers matter a lot. Are they leading from the front? Now, what's culture? Culture is the way the company operates in terms of its values, its principles. That includes employees' behavior and the values. Strategy sets direction and focus. But the culture provides a habitat in which the strategy either lives or what we call dies. Strategy always refers to resourcefulness and skillfulness, whereas culture talks about what we call engagement, passion, and execution. In other words, strategy what we call talks about the rules, but there is a culture which decides how the game is what we call played. Now, when we say that culture is very important, what is that we can do to build a healthy culture? A culture where people are passionate about what we call company's vision, put their best efforts, help each other in accomplishing the task and all that. Number one, ask questions. Find out from them, what is what we call interest to them. What enables them to what we call contributes, best, to the what we call operation. Develop a vision by involving the people, informing the people, and inspiring with your what I call transparent leadership, so that people what I call perspiring. Now, when I am discussing about what I call culture, I am reminded of a famous what I call quote by Dr. T.V. Rao sir, the father of HRD concept. He said that managers need to work 24/7, 365 days on culture, commitment, and competency. When we are talking about all other resources being either available, accessible, affordable, and the only what we call resource that could provide what we call cutting edge is a human resource, culture all the more what we call matters. What else you can do? Celebrate what we call small wins. Okay, while you have what we call bigger task on hand, when you start what we call celebrating small wins, people start becoming more passionate and more enthusiastic about the what we call long term goal. Right. I had an opportunity, to look at a company where they really meant every word what they said, expressed, or what spoken. Now, what is so special about this company? Number one, the core values are the principles they lived by. That means they not only what preached, but they practiced. The second, they always believed in what making a difference to the clients as well as what employees. Third, they care about what customers, and that's why they focus on what empowering their what people. Like when I am saying this, I am what reminded of what Nordstrom, where the companies what spends billions and billions of dollars in training their what front what salesmen, so that they can create customer experience. And this company works through feedback, collaboration, and diversity. They reach for stars but they are not afraid to fail. In other words, employees in the company are given total freedom or autonomy to experiment, but they do not fear about what we call failure, because they feel that failure what we call is a stepping stone for the what we call success. So when we look at what we call this kind of companies, what are our takeaways? Number one, culture is created by behaviors. Are we creating a work environment where we take care of mental and emotional well-being, so that people display that kind of behavior wherein they give their best? Second, change starts at the top. Instead of preaching them, you start practicing vertical first, so that they automatically get vertical inspired to vertical to perspire. And the leaders should make a note, they are the voice around the table, but not the voice. Listen to the people, talk to the people, try to get insights. What is that vertical makes them give their best. Culture is hard to define. It has to be deliberately designed and what are called implemented. But nowadays, we are talking about what are called remote workplace, or we are talking about what are called hybrid workplace, where people work offline as well as online. What is that we need to do what are called to build a culture when people are working what are called remote workplace? This lady, Danielle Abril, in her what are called the Washington Post, she shared her experience of looking at some of the what are called successful companies which they are operating from what are called remote workplaces. One is what are called SDF, software development firm, GitLab. Another one is what are called social media marketing software firm, Buffer. Then workflow automation platform, Zapier. They have been what are called working from remote place right from the beginning. So when she looked at these companies which are doing very well, she found the following. Number one, they are intentional. That means deliberately what are called they are taking all the steps to what are called to connect with the people. They are frequently asking questions to the employees, like what is that what are called interest to them, what is that enable them to what are called give their best and all that. Second, transparency is a must. That means employees are what are called well aware of, for instance what are called recognition, reward. It's not what are called similar to what are called everyone, in the sense the same reward package will be not be expended to A and B and also, but the parameters on which the reward package is being what are called extended is crystal clear to the people. That means you are making clear about your rules and regulations. Next, space for socialization. We all know man is a social animal. So as a company, are you taking care to what are called initiate steps so that they can what are called get in touch with each other? For example, at GitLab, they arrange for what are called a 15 minutes group chat. And similarly, some other company, I found that they pay 15 days what are called wages, and also bear the travel expenses when they would like to visit what are called some other plant of the what are called same group, where they can meet their friends and all that. Next, it's time to what are called adjust the management styles. Let's not focus any longer on tasks. Let's focus upon the results. Let's focus on what are called outcomes. Whether they work for 6 hours or 4 hours, that doesn't matter. Let's focus on what are called outcomes. Next, consider adding what are called more perks, such as stipends for their technology, additional days off for what are called mental health. Perks definitely what are called help employees to what are called get more and more connected to the what are called company. Now, when we take a what are called a holistic look, what is that what are called we find? Number one, all other resources are available, accessible, affordable. The only one resource which can provide cutting edge is about what are called the human resource. Second, recently at a Beverly Hills at a code conference, the Google CEO Sundar Pichai commented that the big companies fail because of excessive focus on what are called competition. They stumble internally. What is that he was trying to convey? The message is loud and clear. Let's focus on what are called systems, procedures, people, processes and all that. Let's focus on what are called creating an environment where mental and emotional well-being of the people is what are called taken care of. An environment where recognition and reward procedure is what are called made crystal clear. An environment where what I call psychological safety is what I call is ensured. People are not scared of what I call experimenting and all that. When a company what I call takes care with its leaders leading from the front, then definitely they succeed in what I call in building a culture that what I call facilitates collaboration and working together, and our nations what I call continue to do better. Thank you.